Alright, so let's take a look at how the last thing that we need to do before we start doing some asymmetrical modeling to our guy. We need to actually close his mouth, get his face back to a very neutral position, which he is not in at the moment. He's grinning like he just did something wrong. Before we do this, however, I have some changes that I would like to make to our eye. For example, I'm going to rotate this and then rotate it out at about, so if this is straight on, I'm not going to rotate it. If we watch my degrees up there, 25, 30, 45, right? Rotated about 15 degrees out. It's actually 12, but 15 probably would work pretty good for us. Put our symmetry back on, we see that it has popped the eye out. Okay, we now have to go into our mirror and rotate it back. Alright, so our eyes are back the way we want. But by doing this, we have actually given ourselves the ability to use the mesh of our eye here. As we can see just by looking, I can actually see how the eye would look with the iris, the pupil, and everything. So I'm going to just pull this out for a minute. I'm going to go in the hemisphere, and I'm going to set it to 0.5, half of his eye, okay, because we want to, remember, we want to get rid of mesh that we don't need. Alright, now I'm going to right click and I'm going to cut that modifier, now collapse, and then paste. So now it's back. Now why did we do that? Because we need to be able to select that vertex, hit delete. We need it to be editable poly so we can make adjustments to it. And we didn't need those faces. That just saved us, that just cut off about 30 polygons, if not more. Okay, so let's get and make our eye. And we're going to call this the eye whites, which obviously are going to be white. Leave them different from the enamel because maybe we want to give them yellow teeth later. I don't know. We need the pupil, which is going to be black, and iris, which can be whatever we want. I want him to have green eyes. Alright, so select the eye whites and assign it to the entire eyeball. Now I'm going to go into polygon with our selection tool, and we're still set to paint selection. And I'm going to look right in here and paint, and then paint out there, and I'm going to put the iris on it, and now just select right there and do the pupil. Okay. So now we have an eye, two eyes. Last thing we need to do is pull this way in like so, and then what I'm going to do is come in here and then loop to select all those, and we're going to pull this out a little bit, and then I'm going to actually come in here and ring connect like that, and then I'm just puff that out a little bit like that. maybe back, and then I'll scale up a little bit. Something like that. Okie dokie. The last thing we could do would be to put some shininess on it. So let's say 50 and some glossiness, so let's say 40. So 50, 40. Our pupil, we don't want any shininess because it's actually the inside of the eye. Well, we want the same thing on our eye white, so 50 and 40. So you can see by doing that, as we move around, shininess goes away when it hits the iris. Okay. Very good, very good. And let's pull that back inside his head. And hey, looky there. He's got eyes. Let's take a look and we see if we go right to the front view, we can see that he's looking at us. Even though his eyes are rotated away. Okay, animating these we will have to get to later. Each one is actually going to be separate. We'll collapse them, but for right now, that's good enough. He's got some eyes. Okay, now we need to. I can see that his teeth are closed. Could maybe pull them up like that, because remember the bottom jaw is the only one that works. The top of the jaw stays functional or stays attached. It's the bottom jaw that opens and closes. So a couple things we have to do. The first thing, to make our working easier, we want to go in and hide what we don't need again. So I'm going to get all of the face, and it doesn't really matter if we get some of that or not. Let's come down, hide unselected. Okay, time to put his face back to the default position. Looking, I'm seeing some things I want to go ahead and fix right now. We don't need that polygon, and my guess is we're not going to need that. And all that is just, I'm just looking, and if we've got polygons that are facing the inside of the symmetry, and we wouldn't see them anyway, like that one, then I'm just going to delete it and get it off the mesh entirely. Let's see, would we see this? No, we wouldn't see that, so bye-bye. Don't need that one either. Bye-bye. If we don't see those polygons here, they do not need to exist. So that's all we're doing. Alright. So let's close his mouth. The easiest way to do that's going to be with our soft selection. There's a couple of ways we can do all this. One of the things that I like to do is approach this like it is exactly what it is. It's the jaw. Okay, so we know that the jaw is going to close. So I'm going to use some soft selection here, and I'm going to lock the soft selection. Okay, and I'm just going to, I can see already that it's not getting enough of my lip, and as I pull it up, the lip's getting off. So I can tell that it's probably not going to work out with the soft selection. So I'm going to turn it off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this right here. Okay, that's his whole bottom jaw. We know that this goes to the neck, but this is his whole bottom jaw. And now we just pull it up and pull it up a little right, because we don't want these guys over here passing through. So I'm going to leave them there. And I'm going to hold Alt and select off of those, and then pull these up like so. And I will now take these vertices right here and pull them down. Okay, polygon. Here's where I'm going to do some changes. Okay, I'm going to select on these right here, pull these down. So as you see, we're basically just remodeling his face. Just closing his lips. Okay, so now with that vertex selected, we will use our soft selection. And I'm just trying to get a little bit more. Okay, and now I'm just going to move it in and move it out. And let's bring the soft selection in. Let's maybe do it like this. Okay, now here's where we basically remodel what we had, because it's now a completely different ball game. Our lips are in a completely different shape. Before, they were creating this big smile. They were stretched out. And what we're going for now is we're trying to see a very empty expression on his face. One of the things that have to happen is basically this whole cheek gets pushed out when he smiles, which now needs to be pushed in. So when he smiles, it's like, yay! When he's not smiling, they're all in. Okay. I'm going to do a relax. Like that. And I'm going to relax that as well. So we see how we're getting rid of these creases. And let's turn soft selection off. So I'm going to select all of these guys right here. Relax, relax, relax. Relax, relax, relax. Again, let me put my edge constraint on. At this point, we are kind of back to what we were doing in the beginning. We're just going to have to spread out these vertices. Try to get them uniformly distanced from each other. Alright. Turn off the edge constraint. Pull those up, close them. Pull that up, close it. Pull it up. I'll pull that in a little bit. Put this back on. Okay, one of the things I want to do, I'll take those two edges, and then I'm going to remove this one. Target weld. Now why? Because what I'm going for is how this lip curves over whoop. Yeah, you'll see it once if I can pull it off. Let's see. I think I might need like another edge. So that one goes up. I think I'm actually going to bring this one up there as well. Now that edge can go away because that's 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices, so that's still a quad. And then this one can go away. Yeah. See how we're getting that nice little crease where the bottom lip goes up under the over lip. The top lip comes out and we get a little fold in there. That's what I'm going for. So I think what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to remove this one and I'm going to connect that one and that one. So now each of those edges used to go here, that one used to go there, that one used to go there. Removed it and they basically switched over. They switched over one and went and connected back. Gives us a nice little overlap. And I think I'm going to connect those two. Let's see what that looks like. Well, I like it. If I wanted to accent it even more, I could come in here and let's cut. And then pull that in. But that's too much. So I'm going to step back. I didn't want to add that cut. I'm just showing you. Alright, let's see. Pull this one out. I think he's got a pretty plain expression on his face as far as his mouth goes. It might not be a bad idea to do one more little round of soft selection here. I'm going to lock that. Pull his mouth in even closer. just gonna make it when he smiles all the more exaggerated. And oh, whoa, turn this off. Turn off lock. Turn this off. I'll just make a quick selection around those. It just seems like there's a bit much going on over there. And we'll use our old friend, the relax tool. Relax that in. And I'll take those. Okay, bring that back. I'll take all of these. There we go. Much better. We'll leave it like that. Last thing we need to do though is close this one. Like that. Now we just do the last steps with his, do the same thing with his eyes. We just want to close them a little bit. Use the select tool and the move tool. Select and then move. So again, we are going for just a very expressionless look on his face, which seems like we got. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe then we gotta remember that the eyelids should always stay touching the top of his eyeball. Or very close to. As we go, see how that makes him look crazy, like you see something very intense or whatever, and how this makes him look sleepy. So just for like alertness, the eyes are, want to kind of watch that, and balance it between looking sleepy and too awake. We have it to where it's just pretty much resting right on the top of his eye. And that is our default expression. And I think I'll just pull out this cheekbone a little bit. So soft selection, and just bring this in. I'm just going to pull it out just a little bit. Just so we can see a little bit of cheekbone going on right there. Okay, so let's bring out the rest of our mesh, and I think we are done with his face. Unhide all. Yep, he's now got a nice default expression. And he's ready to roll for the next one, when we start actually putting straps on him and gearing him up a little bit more. Alright, so see you next time.